frosted glass.
Hey guys, welcome to Death Curse Society. I'm Red Crank, and I've got my friends with me as always. We got Moly Michael, we got the Colonel, and we got Zigzag. All right, today we got a very special episode of Death Curse Society for you. We're going to be talking all about the new Halloween trailer that Blumhouse, Universal Studios, and Miramax just dropped. In fact, if you haven't seen it, which if you haven't seen it, you're a complete footbath. But here it is if you haven't seen it. Check this out and we'll be right back.
Testing 1, 2, 3. We're on.
We're here to investigate a patient that killed 3 innocent teenagers on a Halloween in 1978. He was shot by his own psychiatrist and taken into custody that night, and has spent the last 40 years in captivity. Hello, Michael. I have something you might like to see.
Everyone in my family turns into a nutcase this time of year. Yeah, I mean, your grandmother is Laurie Strode. She was almost murdered.
Wasn't it her brother who murdered all those babysitters?
No, it was not her brother. That's something that people made up.
Do you know that I pray every night that he would escape?
What the hell did you do that for?
So I can kill him.
Dad, look out!
The bus crashed.
Mom, what bus crash?
Michael escaped.
Excuse me, somebody's in here.
Hello?
He's waited for this night. He's waited for me. I've waited for him.
Get out! Go home! Get inside!
You don't believe in the boogeyman?
He's here!
Michael! You should.
Can you close the closet door?
All right, so that's the new Halloween trailer. It drops in theaters October 19th. Moly, talk to us about this damn thing.
This trailer is, not everybody would expect it to be. They thought, it might be a little more subtle, closer to the original, but, that's not what you're going to get because this is 2018. It's going to be more intense, and, it's not going to be Rob Zombie intense, but it's going to be, definitely more intense because the original was, a slow-paced, steady cam movie, which was just, building this suspense towards the end. And this movie is not supposed to be exactly like that, and nor should it be. If you want to watch that, go watch that movie. That's why I always hate with people with remakes or something. Like, oh, the first original is better. Of course it is. We're not trying to say the remake's going to beat it. And this movie is not going to come close to the original, but it's going to be probably pretty damn good. And from what I've seen in the trailer, I probably have to go 8 out of 10 because I'm liking a lot of the scenes. I mean, I know it's pretty intense, and what I've seen of Myers in the photo, the video is glorious. I mean, he's the turn when he bumps into the kids. I mean, we're going to go over the scene breakdown, I know, but just some scenes in there. I mean, the closet, of course. The music sounds to be on cue. I love the intensity of Laurie. I mean, it's showing me that this is going to be something special, and definitely far better and surpass any of the sequels that have come before this. So I'm looking forward to it. October 19th, giddy up.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Giddy up. I like that. Yep. I somewhat agree with you. We'll get into that later, of course. But Zag, talk to us about what you thought.
Man, I gotta say, like this is the #1 movie for us here, So I mean, this is sacred, and it always will be. So when I hear Kenny Powers from Eastbound and Down is gonna write a Halloween movie, man, right away I'm going, what the fuck, And then now we're not having any sequels going. Wait a minute, now what are you doing? So we waited. They shot it. We got we heard some rumblings from the set and everything about what we're gonna be seeing and stuff, and then old stars coming back. Obviously, Jamie Lee Curtis, this is huge coming back to this role here. But now we see the trailer and we get a look at what we're going to get. And I got to say, these guys, they appear to have delivered on something that it may stand as a glorious sequel to this epic film. 40 years later now. 40 years later. And, they said they were going to change the ending a little bit. Now we see what they mean. And it fits. It does work. So, the excitement's building now. I say bring it on. We know now John Carpenter is scoring the film as we speak. So everything's lining up for greatness. The trailer, especially that ending, was excellent. I'm going to go ahead and give it the 8-2. And, yeah, man, as far as my excitement is off and running like a train now. And I believe in these guys and what they're done and what they're doing. And bring it on, man. Michael Myers, baby. 2018.
Right. Yes, John Carpenter has been confirmed, along with his cat, are working on the score. If you guys haven't seen that Twitter photo, here you go. Check this out. It's kind of cute. Almost too cute for the master of the macabre, if you know what I mean. But hey, whatever.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
He's allowed to do whatever the hell he wants.
Exactly. Colonel, you got some thoughts on this trailer?
Yes, I do, and I'm going to keep them short and sweet. As you guys know from past episodes, I think I was the most skeptical of the four of us for this remake. Not remake. My apologies. It's a new film. Misspoke. After seeing the trailer, I got to say it does a damn good job of hyping the movie up. In that little 2.5 minutes, it sets up the new storyline perfectly. No one's guessing. Everybody knows what happened and what's going to happen. And like I said, I'm trying to avoid talking about the scenes, but that mask is on point. Oh my God. I got a half chub just seeing the mask. Putting it on, I was like, "Ooh, come on."
Half chub alert.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'd probably give that trailer a 9 out of 10, in my opinion. It really sold me into this film.
Interesting.
Excellent.
Well, okay, so my first thought on it is kind of leading into a little question before we go into more depth here. But my first thought on it was, when I first saw it, holy shit, excitement out of the brain, spooge in the pants. Everything was great. It was a great morning to wake up and fire up the old YouTube. Then I watched it a few more times and started analyzing it a little bit more, and I'll save some of my comments for this for later on, but that's when I started kind of not necessarily losing my love for it or my attraction to it, but one thing I thought they almost gave away too much plot info in the trailer. Because we pretty much know probably the first 30 minutes of what the movie is going to be, at least from the trailer, I would say, And as much as I love the scenes that of the trailer that have Michael in them, I thought they kind of showed him a little bit too much. He was pretty prominent in the trailer. Now, an opposing viewpoint to that might be, but everyone knows what Michael looks like. Everyone knows he's going to be in the movie. It's not a surprise like it would have been in 78 or 81. So why not use him? Sure. Okay, fine. But I don't know. I personally, after watching it a few times, I think they gave away too much and, used Michael a little bit too much. But we all know Michael's in there anyway, so what's the big deal in that? But anyway, and so that brings me to my question: have you guys? So I would say my ranking at first would have been a 9 as well. After seeing it and looking at it a little bit more, maybe 6.5 would be my theory. Would any of you guys switch your rankings for the trailer after seeing it several times? Zag?
I'll tell you this. I'm just the opposite of you, brother. I went up considerably after analyzing it like you did the same way. I mean, I found I kept noticing things, you know, and the thing I just got recently was the design of the mask. It's really, from the right angle, looks like a combination between 1 and 2, how it looked. Mm-hmm. So I'm digging that, man. I think they've covered the fucking bases here, man.
I hope so. I hope I'm impressed when I go into the theater. I'm sure I'm going to be happy, but I hope I'm impressed when I come out of the theater.
Fair enough.
Molly, what about you? Did yours go up or down after multiple viewings?
It was either the same or went up a little bit, as was Zag, because right before we started the show here, we all watched it again, and mm-hmm. I hadn't seen it in probably a week or so, but watching it again now, it just makes me want to go, I need to see the movie now. So yeah. I need to see this movie. So it's probably upped my anticipation. So I'd probably say I like it even more than when I first saw it. Even though when I first saw it, it was just like, bam, oh, God, I've been waiting for this. So, no, I haven't. It hasn't went down whatsoever. I mean, yes, I do understand your points that they did show him too much, which, of course, as you said, maybe everybody knows he's going to be in it and whatnot. And, they're showing a lot of action scenes, as I pointed out. And the whole movie's not going to be action. You got to look at what they're going to lead into towards those scenes. There's probably going to be a lot of that stalking going on and shit. So, it's not just going to be flat out Myers in your face. That's just what they're showing you in the trailer because that's what they like to do in the new age here. They got to bring people in. Hey, you got to, the young kids don't really know Michael Myers. Hey, this is what you're going to be seeing if you come to the movie. You just show a bunch of scenes of some dude stalking behind a tree. I mean, who gives a shit? So, I love it. I can't wait.
Yeah, and you brought this point up in your first mention of the trailer. There is a lot more intensity, it seems like, in this, Michael, and there's a lot more action in the trailer, especially, and probably in the movie. But sure, that filmmaking is a little bit different than it was 40 years ago, and that affects a lot. What scared audiences in 1978 isn't necessarily going to scare the majority of audiences and draw butts to the seats as much as what they hopefully did here with this movie. So
this does not feel to me like one of those where they put all the best scenes in a trailer to get your ass into the theater. This felt familiar. This felt canon to what we saw 40 years ago. I mean, I understand the style is a bit different, but the characters and the warmth was the same. And there's no way they're going to reveal every single turn and every cool thing in that little trailer. I mean, there's going to be surprises.
2.5 minutes.
Guaranteed.
Right. My excitement level remained pretty steady. It was like fucking flatline through the whole thing. I know I've seen the first trailer so many times. I really have no desire to watch it again for a while. But, I kind of have to agree with Zag a little bit about the showing of Michael in the trailer. I mean, it's 2018. You got to draw the audiences in. We know what he looks like. And that's just the evolution of horror. I mean, you can't, who's the killer? Who's the killer? People's like, I want to know who the killer is, and they want it fast-paced. So I get the trailer. I don't think they threw all the good parts in. Oh, there's a few fucking good parts in that trailer. Oh, we'll talk about that later.
Yes, we will. All right, well, that's our initial thoughts on the new Halloween trailer. We're not done, though. We are not done by any means. No. We're going to next do a scene-by-scene breakdown where we dissect the fuck out of this trailer, and we tell you all about our thoughts, our feelings, our skepticisms, our desires, our lusty desires, and more. Stick around to Death Curse Society. We'll be right back.
I'll be right back. Don't get dressed.
Welcome back to Death Curse Society. I'm still Red Crank. I got Moley, I got the Colonel, and I got Zigzag still with us. For now, we're going to take a scene-by-scene breakdown of the trailer and give us a little bit more in-depth thoughts, and maybe you'll understand why Zag and Moley's expectations went up a little bit and why mine kind of went down. That's where we kind of break it down. So here we go. We're going to start at the very top. You know, you start seeing Smith's Grove, maybe? Question mark. Obviously, you see a sanitarium of some type. We're not sure if it's Smith's Grove, but we assume it, or I assume it is. Moley, what do you think about the Smith's Grove shots and scenes from the trailer?
Oh, I definitely believe it is Smith Grove. It's just changed its name. It's actually on a name tag if you look and zoom in. It's Smith's Grove. It's like Smith's Grove Asylum or something. It's not sanitarium anymore because they don't really use that word these days, but it's the same place.
Sure.
It's just changed. 40 years, it's not going to look the same. So, yeah, same place. I think that opening scene is great with the checkerboard layout.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know some people went over this in some of their own videos, but, you know, it's kind of exactly what I was thinking when I saw it. It's kind of like a chessboard. And, you know, what does chess require? It requires patience.
Yes.
Who has the most patience? Yes. Who can wait 55 years being locked up? Michael Myers.
He didn't have to wait quite that long. Yeah. You know, if you add the 15
40 years plus 15. You know,
yeah,
totally.
If you add the 15 before.
5 years of life. So he knows about plotting the next move. He just maybe didn't wait long enough the first time. It's like, 40 years? I think I got enough time now. All right, this bitch is going down.
Maybe he's got a good game plan now.
Mm-hmm. I'm loving that opening scene, you know.
Yep.
Smith Grove. Yeah, but it's definitely Smith Grove to me.
All right, Zag, talk to us.
Yeah, that's the first thing that grabs you. Well, I mean, you got the people coming in and they're showing they got to go through the security clearance and everything. But yeah, they get out on this huge checkerboard, and that's kind of the first. And you know, I think we did kind of go on that early on before the trailer ever showed up. That checkerboard, kind of the imagery of the game we're about to play here. Who's got the upper hand? Who's the better player? You know, I mean, so clearly we've got a different set of parameters now. You know, it's not a babysitter he's stalking. It looks like he's stalking another killer to me. So I dug that a lot with that. I really like the way they were anchored down to those things. I like the way they kind of kept them separated. It was very cool. It's creepy. It's disturbing. It's off-putting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it works.
Right. Colonel, talk to us about the opening couple of scenes in the trailer. What did you think?
I thought it was pretty interesting. If it does turn out to be Smith's Grove, it does make sense with all the heightened security from the events that happened 40 years prior.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, it's like, holy shit. It was like Guantanamo Bay. No, it's Smith's Grove. You crazy. That's all. But it just, the way they build up the atmosphere when, like, he's like, Michael, I got something you want to see. He pulls out the mask, and you got, like, the real crazy motherfuckers just start laughing, and the dog's barking. It's like all hell's about to break loose. It's a great way of foreshadowing what I think is going to happen later on in the film, obviously. Was just subtle little details like that. I thought it was great.
Yeah. I hadn't gotten to the mask yet. I want to get to the mask here in a minute, but I just kind of wanted to talk about the overall theme of, or not theme, but the overall imagery of Smith's Grove and the idea of him being back there and going in for the first time. I loved the way it opened. Especially that overhead aerial shot, zoom, kind of pulling back, and you see the other inmates lining around the checkerboard or chessboard, if you will, and the doctor or the head of this sanitarium asylum leading the documentary people in. It was a nice shot, and you obviously know Michael's the one right in the center that they're walking towards. And he's got his back to that long shot, aerial shot. We also get a view of these British filmmakers coming in. This is an interesting plot point. Yeah, this was probably not my favorite plot point because several episodes ago we talked about what our speculations were and how was this going to all kick off. And I can't remember if it was me or one. I know it was one of us kind of jokingly said, yeah, some some documentary is going to come in, or some reporter is going to come in and interview him and show him the mask and piss him off, and it's just going to set him off, and he's going to break out. I'm most interested in how is he going to get the same mask, because they have said it's as close to the same mask, aged from Halloween 1, as they could get. So I'm curious how that. I don't know if some kind of like 60 Minutes interviewer, hey, we're going to go interview Michael Myers. We know he doesn't speak, but we're going to go try to do something anyway. We're going to take the mask and show it to him and see what happens, like an idiot, television journalist might do.
Here we have some pretentious British wankers coming in to get some ratings for their probably floundering show. And whoa, they got Michael Myers. They landed him. I guess Jason or Freddy might have been busy. Who knows? But here they are, and like I said, I get it. Because it does look a lot like some of the sequels we're not supposed to acknowledge anymore. Some of the things that we've seen in this, and this is a little bit like that too. I mean, and I'm jumping a little bit ahead because they come back to it later. But yeah, these I get it. And I get why they took that way. I might have gone a different way with that, but yeah, British wankers, high ratings, Michael Myers, kill them both.
No offense to any of our British viewers out there. We like to use your terminology, when we refer to you. You wankers.
You wanker. Toss off.
You bloody wanker. Colonel, what did you think about the documentary filmmakers aspect?
I thought it was a little bit predictable and cliche, to be honest with you. That's probably like my least favorite part from what I've gathered from the trailer. It's but the more I think about it, what could be an interesting twist if they take this turn, maybe the host of the documentaries, TV show, whatever it is, what if he has some kind of relation to Dr. Loomis? Maybe he's trying to build off that little bit of family fame he had to launch what he has going on. I'm just reaching for straws here, but there has to be a reason why they did it. His eyes kind of like, but
it's a nice grab there, Colonel.
Yeah,
I don't know. That just made me think a little bit.
It's a stretch, and I'm going to throw an extra little piece in here in a second before we get to the mask. But Colonel or Molly, I want to stick with you on the British filmmakers' thoughts first.
I've heard numerous people say this guy's, even Boobs mentioned this could be possible relations to Loomis. I didn't really think much of it there. But when you do start getting into the mask idea, like why the hell do these people have the mask, for one thing, that would be the only thing that would possibly make sense. Is maybe if he was related to Loomis after the first movie somehow got the mask out of evidence, or he had the mask, and that's how this guy acquired it. Because how the hell else are these people going to get police evidence? I mean, what are they doing with this thing?
I can answer that. I mean, if you are putting on a documentary, you are given some latitude when it comes to what you have access to. And for something that had happened 40 years ago, and I would think by now most of the scary part of Michael Myers has faded away. I think a documentary crew like that would have been able to contact and get a hold of the police and the court system, and it would have been a month-long process, but say, hey, we're doing this. Can we borrow the mask for a day, and sign it out of evidence, just like a lawyer would if they were going to court with it. Can we sign the mask out for a day and we'll return it when we're on our way back to Heathrow or wherever?
I suppose, but I still think it stinks. I think it's a stinky way for him to get his mask back.
It's a plausible theory.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I probably would say I don't like so far with the trailer. Of the scenes we've talked about is definitely this guy whipping his mask out of his sack. Get out of here, dude.
His man purse.
You don't be touching that thing.
He's British. Give him a break, man.
No, come on.
That's what they carry.
You could suck a wanker.
All right. The extra thing I wanted to put in was there is a little sketch of Loomis in these first few scenes that we see. I kind of think that might be all we get of him. And Zag and I think we're talking about this earlier today. I don't know. But Colonel brings up a good point, and that this filmmaker might have some relation to Loomis. I don't know. We'll have to see. That is a good idea. It might work. But I think that sketch is pretty much, and besides maybe a couple of other mentions of the Doctor, that's going to be about it for Loomis. What do you guys think? Let's start with Molly on this one.
I think, yeah, for Loomis, that could be about it for what they throw in there. Initially, before we saw this trailer, I thought maybe they would have inserts from him from the original, kind of like what they did in H2O.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, no, that wasn't really insert. That was just somebody else talking, I believe.
Yeah, that was another voice that was pretty
Mm-hmm.
close.
You know, but something maybe take the exact dialogue or the exact scene, you know, from it. But if they don't do that, then I don't think you're going to get much for Loomis besides maybe some. Somebody had said that there was some sort of tie to Loomis in this movie. There's a Loomis-like character in the movie. One of my first ideas was somebody in another scene, but it definitely could possibly some sort of tie to this guy. But those other photos they did show, though, I mean, you see some people were saying, oh, that was Myers or that was Laurie. No, the victim was Annie because she had the slit on the throat, and you could see that was her. And I think the boy that they showed the picture of was Myers when he first got incarcerated, you know, getting his mug shot from the backside. And I think that's about it for the pictures they showed. So, yeah, I think that's going to be about it for Loomis. You know, they have somebody else hype him up in this movie.
Yeah. Ziggy, what do you think?
It hurts a little bit, you know. I mean, I understand, you know, and yeah, he's been dead for a while now, you know. I mean, 22 years actually, and but I still, being how intricate and impactful he was to this movie, especially this first one, to leave him out and to not put him in, you know, not just everywhere just to stick him in there, but man, just something significant, something a little nice, or a connection to a new character. See, for me, when I heard that, I thought, okay, Laurie, maybe they're talking, that's what they mean. That sheriff seems like he could maybe be that. I don't know who that is or who his connection is, but you got to have that. That's got to be there if we're going to keep this feeling going. If we want to have that kind of, you know, movie, you know, I mean, that you got to have that. You know, I mean, that's our anti-hero, really. I mean, isn't it?
Well, I think if anybody's really going to take over the Loomis role, it's got to be Laurie.
That's Laurie.
I mean, yeah.
That kind of got passed on to her in the first movie.
Right.
That's what I'm getting at, you know, for sure. Laurie's probably, you know, for what, obviously, I mean, she's going to be a badass here and everything, but I mean, she's got a daughter and a granddaughter. That's why I kind of go that way with it, you know, with Laurie overall. I mean, out of all the little bit that we got from that trailer, but I personally would like to see, maybe hear his voice. You know, I know it's been done in the other sequels and everything, but man, I don't give a fuck. I love that guy, and I just hope that he's got some little bit of tribute in there for him. And
he was a huge part of the original.
Everybody will think that, man.
Well, I don't think the original would have been anywhere near.
No.
And it definitely wouldn't have spawned, you know, 9 sequels had Loomis been played by somebody else.
No.
And I mean, I know some of you guys like the zombie remakes. Malcolm McDowell for that time period was great casting, but you put McDowell's performance next to Donald Pleasance, and there's no comparison.
No, not at all.
No.
I could see the wankers going and interviewing like Loomis's family or something. So I mean, that's plausible too to me. To me, it is for sure.
You know, you don't have to call them wankers every time you talk about them.
This is
well, think about it. They gotta mention him.
What do you want?
The one who stopped Michael Myers in the first one.
Yeah, they're the
He's
ones
the one
that
who got him.
Right? 6
I think
times.
they're showing the picture. They're gonna mention Loomis at some point.
Sure, they're going to mention him, but there's not going to be a whole lot, I don't think.
No, because this has moved on. You know, I mean,
Right.
Donald Pleasant gave us 2, 3, or 2, 4, 5, and 6. He gave us 4 sequels that we can find him in. So,
Oh yeah.
I love the guy too, but he won't be in this.
And not to get too far off topic, but also don't forget his glowing role in Escape from New York.
Oh, you're a
All right.
number one, Duke.
Moving on to the next couple of scenes that we see, as Zag likes to say, the wanker shows Michael the mask, and all hell breaks loose, it appears. Colonel, what do you think about the mask in the first reveal of it?
Well, the first reveal of the mask, for one, my first initial thought was, you flippin' idiot. Like, come on, man. That's like holding a steak in front of a fucking lion. Like, hey, buddy, look what I got. It was just dumb. And I get it with the storyline. I kind of wish he'd obtain the mask a different way, but that's the most logical way to do it. I'll hold my thoughts on the mask entirely until we talk about later scenes. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet just because I thought it was probably the weakest shot in the entire trailer.
Them showing the mask was the weakest shot?
Oh, yeah. I just thought it was
Really?
kind of lame. Yeah, like I said, just, oh, hey, Michael, got something. I expect a little bit better.
Interesting. Ziggy.
Yeah, I mean, here he comes, and that's one thing that's where a little bit of cheese slaps me in the face. The dumb look on his face. Michael, we've got something you might want to see here.
Yeah.
And then he shows him, right? But I know that was terrible. I'm sorry. I won't do any more British accents.
Is that your wanker accent? Okay, I get it now.
I'm the wanker now.
Olsen, don't watch this episode.
Yeah. But that's it. The look he's got on his face, it's almost like, oh, let's corner the animal and start shocking him and poking him with sticks and see what the fuck happens. You know what I mean? It's
right.
I'm kind of with Colonel on that part of it where it's like, okay, I mean, there's so many ways that probably could have been done better. I mean, but I guess you got to get him stirred up somehow, and this is how they chose to do it. I'm going to let him go for now until I see the finished product.
Yes. Molly.
Yeah, it's not a great scene, but how else are you going to introduce the mask? Really?
Okay.
Give me a really good explanation for that.
Well, I'm not.
This is going to have to do. This is what they did. We're going to have to deal with it.
Grabs the wheel.
It's not a great scene, but he's not just going to find another mask like that. He's not going to find the exact same mask somewhere. So, okay, these people got it from the evidence people at the police station, and we're going to do a documentary. Hey, Michael, here's your mask.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now, that wasn't good, but what was good was almost a Loomis-style buildup with the dog barking. Or because the dog barking is a throwback to the original movie.
Yes.
With the dog barking outside, they sense evil. And the patients, you're talking criminally insane patients who start going nuts and laughing because they know something is afoot right now.
Yep.
It's like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, dude. And all he's doing is standing there.
It got uneasy
alone, and it's like, you just better go right now.
I wondered who was going to bring up the dog. I was hoping somebody would because I like that too. And I go back to
same dog too, German Shepherd.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty powerful shot, especially the slow exposing coming out of the bag, and you see just a little bit of it at a time, and then it flops out, and he's got it right there. I think that's a very powerful shot. That brings me to the first point of why I think this film was kind of lazily written. And that's what started to irritate me after I started watching the trailer more and more. I think it was just a little bit of lazy storytelling. And I get it. You want to jump into the story and get it going. Fine. I get it. So you go the quick route. Okay, next segment of the trailer we want to talk about is where we first meet one of the Strodes. And it seems to be Laurie's granddaughter, possibly walking home or walking to school, walking home from school with a couple of friends, and talking about her nut house family. Let's see, the nutcases. Let's start with Colonel on this one.
Okay, well, what I'd like to say first about that shot is that is a great throwback to the original film. I loved it.
Yep.
I thought it was very cleverly done and how they're discussing the family. And then, is Michael, I heard that was her brother. No, that's something they made up. I thought it was great. The shot of Laurie's house was pretty good, too. I hope I'm not getting too far ahead, but with the floodlights and the camera get up she had on the front was fantastic. I thought it was overall pretty well done for setting up the story. I thought it was great. Again, my favorite part though was the throwback to the original film. Fantastic.
Yeah, definitely a throwback, and it fits so well. Just them walking down that tree-lined street, and just three of them just going right along. It was a great throwback, and I'm glad you brought that up. Molly, let's go to you.
You know, I like how they get the shit out of the way, saying, "Oh, you know, no, that was some story people made up. He's not her brother." You know, just quick, real simple, moving on. No sequels are a part of this.
Yeah,
it had nothing to do with it. I like it, just real subtle, moving on. That's it. Some people have a problem with how they did that scene, but I think it's good. Get it done quickly. That's it. And you know, chick looks nice. You know, the streets look nice. I like the fall look. I mean, I know that they did it at Charleston, South Carolina, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
When they shot, yeah, it looks real nice. They got the fall set up perfectly. That's a big thing with Halloween movies is the fall. That, you know, the autumn environment. You know, you got to have them. You got to have your environment right.
Yeah.
The pumpkins, the streets looks good. The houses look good, and that's about all you can really take from that shot. So I mean, they didn't really talk much. I like it.
Yeah. By the way, since you mentioned Charleston, shout out to my family in Charleston, South Carolina, and all around that state. And along with a fellow DCS member we don't get to see very often, but Savini. How you doing, Savini? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, at first I was not a fan of the way that they dismissed the brother theory. I was a little bit irritated about that, and I think we talked about that. But I got more on board with it as it moved on, because, you know, how else are they going to do it? Are they going to go into a 15-minute diatribe explaining why the brother-sister thing is not a deal? No, it was so much simpler to just say, no, that was something people made up, like one of the, you know, urban legends, rumors that happens whenever something like this happens. There's always bullshit rumors that come along, you know. At least Laurie wasn't like a crisis actor. I mean, that's all I'm going to say about that. Zag, talk to us about the meeting the Strode.
Yeah, man, you guys got it. I'm glad, you know, you're my brothers like that, because you absolutely picked up on that, the way they shot that, you know, the way they walked and the way they talked. And as far as them just dismissing that right away, you know, you got to consider they're trying to be mass appeal here. They want to bring everybody in, not just the purists that love the first movie or the series like that. So you have to kind of, that's fine. I'm okay with that, how they did it. You know, I mean, obviously, if it was just going to be, hey, we're making a movie for the purists, oh, yeah, we would have had a long, drawn-out reason why, probably a huge twist to why it wasn't like that. But it's cool with that, you know. But, yeah, the way they walk down that street, very familiar, and it looks pretty good. The decorations are good. I like the screaming kids running around. Looks like Halloween's alive and well where they're at. So that's why I'm, you know, you got Crazy Cat Lady we're about to meet here in a couple minutes. Want to talk about, and let's go with that.
They disregard the sequels real quick there, but, you know, as we talk about in more scenes to come, there's plenty of nods to the sequel. So.
Oh, yes.
We'll get to them.
Right, yeah, and that's fine. Like they've been saying, at least to the people that are following the news before the movie comes out, they're just dismissing all the sequels, and this is going to be a direct sequel from the 1978. So it's quick and painless to just go, yeah, they're not. No, he's not my uncle.
That's bullshit. Yeah.
It's bullshit. It was a rumor.
Yeah,
get done with quick, like a Band-Aid.
Well, I like how they did it quick, because it was just a natural conversation between friends. I thought it was fantastic.
It wasn't forced. It happened.
Yeah, you can almost picture them saying something like that, and then the granddaughter saying, "So who are you taking to the homecoming dance?"
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, moving on.
Right. I don't know if there is a homecoming dance, but let's get her in a prom dress. All right. And then we meet Laurie, who has gone from cowering in a closet and behind a couch to badass survivalist. I bet she's a member of the Me Too movement and has a pussy hat. I guarantee it. Colonel, or no, Zag, Let's start with Zag on this one because I made Colonel laugh too much. Zag, start us all talking about Laurie and her introduction.
Yeah, I completely blanked out when you said that there, but yes, Laurie Strode. She's grown up. She's 60. She still looks gorgeous, and she looks like somebody who is not afraid of shit anymore. Let me re-pull that back there. Afraid of something, but ready for it. And this is going to be a different side of Laurie, but I love the fact that it still looks like Laurie and it still sounds like Laurie, and we're going to see that vulnerable Laurie in there. You've seen it in the trailer a couple times already, the look in her face, and that's what it's all about, man. She's bitten into this thing. So, and I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis. So I expect, and the way she felt to me in the trailer was absolutely how I expected her to sound and be, and I completely embrace it. Bravo, guys.
Excellent. Colonel, what did you think about Laurie's introduction?
I thought it was great. Again, you guys already know my thoughts on the outer shot, the scene where they're shooting outside of her house. On the inside, how her little island fucking rotated down in like her armory room, I would assume. Yep. I thought it was badass, man. I mean, that's really how I was hoping they would portray Laurie in this film. And just I was a little off when I was like, oh, her daughter introduced her daughter and granddaughter were going to be in the film. But that's where she's vulnerable at. That's her going to be her weakness. The more I think about it, the better I like it. Mm-hmm. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I think without the daughter and the granddaughter in the picture somehow, she wouldn't have anything to lose, and this gives her something to fight for. So, Molly, talk to us about Laurie's introduction.
Her introduction technically was given to us during the 2 teasers that happened, and I thought the one teaser with her just singing and walking up and then blasting was very effective. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, that's, in collaboration with the trailer here. But as you see, the shot of her house, the fog lights, she got windows all barred up, steel. I mean, she's ready to go. You see what leads the kitchen, like you were talking about, leads into her little bomb shelter she got going on down there. And you see another scene later on in the trailer where she's down there with some other people, and you see what she has. So she's stocked up. She's got food, water, plenty of ammo and guns. I mean, it's like, like a doomsday prepper right here. I mean, she's ready to go.
Exactly.
And apparently she's been hitting the gun range a lot, as you can see by the mannequins that were shot to shit. She's ready. She's ready to do some damage to somebody here, and we all know who that is. Now, can she get a clean shot? Is my thought. But I'm loving the attitude of her right now. Survivalist mode. She's ready. She's been prepping. This isn't some H2O Laurie where she just went off and hid somewhere and she don't get her balls until the end of the movie after she's been chased for 20 minutes. She comes in with balls to this movie. She's ready to go. Long hair, dirty, who gives a shit? Let's get it going. She's looking glorious. I'm loving this. I'm loving her attitude towards it. In interviews I've already seen her do with, people talking about what's going on set. She's all jacked up. She's loving this movie still. She's all into it. I'm all into it. I'm ready for it. I'm loving it.
No fucking knitted needles this time.
Nice.
Look at Dick.
Well, there goes our sponsorship opportunity there.
Big Mac my nuts.
I also like her physical appearance in this, and the way she comes up and just looks like a badass walking in the frame. And I think, since you mentioned H2O, I think they did that intentionally because I believe Jamie Lee Curtis still has fairly short hair in real life, so they made her don like this grayer, kind of longer.
That short hair look was no good.
Yeah, and I didn't like the short hair look for her in H2O all that well. I know she was trying to change her appearance a little bit according to that film, but still, it just didn't work for me. It didn't seem like Laurie. It seemed like Mrs. Tate or whoever she was, a little too much. But I think they did that intentionally, so you would, it's another way to throw out that sequel and wipe that slate clean. So I'm okay with that. And I love her, she's ready for the zombie apocalypse too. in case that happens to happen.
Yeah, hey,
yeah.
The boogeyman is real. You never know about zombies, man. They might come to Haddonfield too.
That's right. And you mentioned that she gets a lot of time out on the shooting range. I have a feeling she may take a few months off, in the winter. But when it becomes fall and October time, she's out there almost every day, just boning up and getting ready. Once November 2nd hits, she's like, all right, now I can take a nap. That's just my thought. I don't know,
And she knows this is the 40th anniversary. She knows. She's got that feeling this year. This is like the 37th year since it happened. This is the 40th year, so it means a little more something to her this time.
Possibly, but I bet she's preparing like this in a way almost every year, around Halloween.
But she knows though if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen on Halloween.
Absolutely.
So,
and that's maybe.
Hey, this is my favorite line of the trailer. For 40 years I've prayed he escapes, and the dude's like, why? She looks at him like, what's the matter with you? So I could kill him.
So I could kill him.
It's there, and man, that's chilling to me.
No, that's a great fucking line. I agree. But like I say, I think she's been, ready almost every Halloween for him to just come knocking on the door and trick or treat or whatever, and ready to do, here's your candy, bitch. So, all right. So the next thing we see after we meet Laurie the Survivalist is, of course, the God, the master, the legend himself. John Carpenter is listed as executive producer, which excites the shit out of me. And, of course, Blumhouse, which has had some great success with several horror suspense hits in the last few years. They're attached to it, of course. We all know that. But that's a big deal. Guys, how excited are you for John Carpenter being linked into this as deep as he might be?
Oh, very excited. I mean, it's John Carpenter. It's the creator. How can we not be excited about it? The greatest film scorer of all time, in my opinion. All of his films, the score is gold. Like, it's John Carpenter, man. How who could be disappointed in that? Like, really, that's the end of my discussion. Who would complain?
I guess I put an asterisk next to Ghost of Mars soundtrack, maybe, but it's okay. We love John Carpenter, and let's face it, he's been thrown around with some of these other sequels that we're going to be ignoring now. But he's talked about them and said, "Yeah, I like the script. I've read it." But he's kind of really in on this one, and I believe the executive producer title isn't just a paycheck. I think they ran shit by him the whole time here, and now look, here's the proof is in the pudding. He's scoring the damn film. So I'm excited as hell. And as far as Blumhouse goes, Blumhouse. It's I think they're taking the mantle as the kind of the torchbearers of horror right now, in my opinion. They're putting out pretty good stuff. It's good quality. They believe in it. I believe he's a fan. So I think the property's in good hands at the moment.
I agree with you. I think the franchise is in good hands, if it is even going to be a franchise. But that's something we'll talk about later. Molly, talk to us about your excitement for John Carpenter being involved.
Well, John Carpenter is the man, of course. I mean, he made this. He wrote, directed, well, co-wrote, but directed, and get back, boy, and scored. And he had a name right over the title. I mean, so when you saw Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween, you know the name John Carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
I know, like, as I said, he's been a part of some of the other movies here and there, mainly producer type business, but he seems really more invested in this, and that's what's really should get, hardcore fans a little more jacked up, is that John Carpenter is pretty serious about this one. And the fact that now he's completely scoring it with his cat, that's glorious. It's meow. It's lovely. It's such a simple score for the movie, but so powerful. I mean, besides Jaws, Psycho, I mean, what other, outside of horror too, what other scores are as iconic as Halloween?
Not quite. Yeah, not quite as, but you got to remember The Exorcist as well. That theme was
Tubular Bells.
Yeah, it's Tubular Bells, but they're identifiable.
Oh yeah, I mean it's exactly like Jaws. You hear the Jaws theme wherever you are, you immediately recognize it.
I mean, I already know a handful of people that can
Same
play
thing.
Tubular Bells or the Psycho music or Halloween, and they're going to be able to pinpoint Halloween right away. They hear the Halloween music. Michael Myers in a Halloween movie, right? Yeah.
I think 80% of people
really
in the world
identifiable,
do.
but yes, yeah. Well, regardless, the score is just phenomenal, and it's not even the main theme of it. Just all the scenes he did in the original. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what he does with this movie.
Right.
And Blumhouse, I mean, yeah, you know, I really am supportive of any production companies that are helping horror, you know, the horror genre, and get some more horror out there. And
all right, and then the next thing we see, I'm going to throw this out there. It almost looks like another throwback, if you will, to the original. We see this bus crash where it appears some inmates have escaped. Now, I don't know why they would schedule a documentary film crew to come in to the same day that they're going to be transferring inmates for some reason or another. But, then we have a bus crash and everyone gets loose. All right, so Molly, talk to us a little bit about the bus crash and that scene and those shots.
yeah, okay, I got a question here. Why the hell are you transporting these inmates, especially as carrying Michael Myers on Halloween Eve? He should be in his cell, you know, for probably a couple weeks straight, prior and post Halloween, just so there's no issues. But Halloween Eve, come on, that's the night he escaped in '78. And you're transporting him at night? Oh, well, I mean, of course, we all see from the scene what happens. Looks like he does something and causes a ruckus. You know, it don't look like he takes out any inmates, but there's got to be at least 2 cops, I'm assuming. 2 is usually what they run. 1 in the cage back there with the inmates and the driver. Possibly a 3rd one with shotgun. But there's actually a scene. There's 4 new images, and one of the images we'll put up right now. You see a cop standing over. It looks like another cop, and it kind of looks like they're out in the middle of nowhere. And it looks like the same cop that was talking to Lori in the other scene, where it said, you know, why the hell would you do that?
Right.
So it looks like he comes across this dead officer or transport guy. I think it's an officer from the bus, actually, because of the location. Because it doesn't look like they're in the town. And, you know, it could be one of the victims of the cops that were on the bus that he took out. And so, yeah, he breaks out, and, you know, it's off to get the ball moving now, I guess. So I'm loving it.
All right, Colonel, talk to us about that.
I really don't have much to say about it other than the fact I love the throwback to the original film with the crazies in the middle of the road.
And the lights shining on them. I love that.
Yeah. I can only imagine what the hell that dad had to say to his kid, like, stay here, son, I'm going to get out and take a look at it. Like, I'm expecting some stupid shit like that, but that's really all I have to say. It was a nice shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shot, contrary to what some people have said, that's not Michael Myers.
You don't think so?
Some people actually think that's him, that they shine the lights on.
Okay.
No, I don't think they reveal him like that.
I don't think he's going to be standing there in the middle of the road after the fact. He wants to get a move on. I think he's already departed from that area. Or, I don't know, maybe he could have killed that dude driving, get the kid out of there and taken their car. Who knows? We all know he can drive.
Well, yeah, he probably jumped on the roof of the fucking car and was like,
I was going to say, maybe the car stops seeing the inmates in the road, and then he scampers up the back of the car like he did in the first one, too, and then...
True. Could be how he gets the car. Yeah.
That'd be a nice little throwback. But Ziggy, talk to us about the shots.
Yeah, you guys, I think your question was answered. You know, why would there be a transfer so close to Halloween? I think all the chaos caused by those 2 wankers, once again, caused so much of a ruckus. They had to clear it out, or something happened. You know, maybe a breach or something, and they had to move them. They had no choice. And, you know, it's a forced hand kind of thing. And perfect scenario, perfect storm. Here we go again. That's kind of the way I went with it. You know, I mean, I right away, that's the first thing I grabbed. You know, I mean, I was like, oh, okay, they got to move them. See, I said, why the fuck would you do that on knowing that who this guy is and what he did. That's where I was.
I don't know, but Smith Grove is such a secure place by the beginning of the shot, the trailer, that why would you have to leave that area just because they're making noise? Who gives a shit?
Moly.
That's his home, I assume. That's where they live. So why would you be moving them?
Moly. 2 roadblocks and an all-points bulletin wouldn't stop a 5-year-old.
Yeah. Why move him? I don't get it.
No, I don't know. I just that was the one question I got, and
maybe they'll explain it.
And I assume it will be in once we see the film. It's interesting. So
this is all trailer speculation.
Right.
What it means.
Right. All right. Then immediately we see that Lori has heard about the bus crash. So did it make the news? Did she get a phone call personally from somebody? Hey, watch your ass, that this has happened. And she starts telling her family. Molly, you have anything to say about that particular segment?
I know there's some people that were questioning who this other guy was with Lori's daughter. As soon as I saw it the first time, I assumed that was her husband, boyfriend, somebody she's involved with, because it looked to be around her age. I even at one time thought it could be their so-called Loomis-style character. But I think you see later on there's a scene where it looks like that guy is in trouble or is already taken care of. So definitely not going to last the whole movie, but maybe one of them, maybe him, he has ties with the police. But I'd imagine if a transport bus of prisoners has an accident, it's going to make the news pretty quick. Because they're going to want people to know and to be on alert. So just her knowing about it, she's like, ooh, how'd you know that? It's like, it's on the fucking news. What do you mean, how did I know about it? You should know about it.
All right, a couple good points from Molly on that. Zag, what do you think about Lori learning about the bus crash and telling the family about it?
It seems pivotal there. It's because this is the first time you actually see her kind of ramp up from she's. As cool as she is using the guns and all the shooting and everything, she's still kind of quiet and subdued up till that point. And then she's giving orders. She's telling the kids, get off the streets, get in the house, racking the gun. She's ready. She's got the knife. She's ready. So this looks like where she goes into go mode. And I can't wait to see how nuts she gets.
Right. That's kind of where I was leaning towards. That little piece of the trailer was, part of the movie, and for the last 40 years, she's been kind of considered the nutcase of Haddonfield. And now she's like, all right, you motherfuckers didn't listen to me. I've been warning you about this. It's go time. Who are you going to come to help you now? To steal from the Ghostbusters, who are you going to call, bitch?
And it does liken to the old Loomis, kind of telling the Smiths Grove people, I warned you guys. I told you. Nobody listened.
You let him out.
That's where it's probably where she's passed on as the new Loomis.
If it goes that way.
Yeah.
Right. All right, Colonel, any thoughts on this?
Nothing really to add other than what these gentlemen have. Like I said, it's nice hearing that sense of panic in her voice. Like we said, oh crap, this is happening. Let's go. And then I just think it's funny where her daughter's like, Mom, what bus crashed? Like, duh. Like, your mom's fucking been telling you in your entire life. You should know this. So
it's totally
interesting, but I can't add much more to it. These other gentlemen haven't touched on. So
it's totally like that. It's Mom, she's at it again.
Yeah.
Stop it with that crazy Michael Myers stuff again. Come on, Mom.
No, it's really happening this time.
Here we go.
Listen.
Right? Like, didn't you watch the news this morning?
Yeah.
No, she saw it because Bob was rocking it.
We're going to have some believers real quick.
Yes. And then shortly after that, we come to the scenes where Michael finds the filmmakers from the earlier scene in the trailer at the gas station. We see what looks like an attendant dead in the cashier area. He finds the girl in the bathroom. The other male filmmaker, walks in and finds the body, it looks like, and I'm sure there's some damage done in this little piece of the movie, and I'm looking forward to it because it looks really up and ooh, in your face. So, Zag, let's start with you on this. What about this area grabbed your attention?
I gotta say, I like the pacing of it. Now, yes, and I know once again, we're not supposed to mention the other sequels, but it does look a little bit like they borrowed some part 4-ish kind of thing there. The truck stop, if that's what it is, a gas station. Looks like
it's
that.
A nod. Yeah, it's a nod to 4.
Okay. And then kind of the brutality with the teeth and everything coming. Maybe that's a nod to Zombie there. That's what I was kind of thinking, Yeah, I mean, that's something we haven't seen from Michael. So he's a little bit crotchety, it seems. And or maybe studied some dental, school here while he's been away. But, this just looks like you got to get him his mask and his coveralls somehow, and here we are. And, I hope that both wankers get it right there because, get him out of here. Not a fan.
Here we go with the wankers again.
Let it go.
Yeah. I can see Michael in Smith's Grove taking like some online dental courses. I'm sure he's been doing that in his spare
Hey,
time.
man, he knew how to drive in the first one.
Well,
now he knows how to extract teeth.
Well, somebody had to teach him how to drive in the first one, you would think, but
he was
doing very well last night.
What a bunch of assholes.
All right. Colonel, what do you got on this segment?
No, again, the highlight of the segment for me, like we've already talked about, the fucking teeth, man. That's hardcore. How could you not get pumped seeing that? I was like, oh, yeah. And then when it looks like he's slamming the dude's head into the stall door to get it open. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. This is what I'm looking for, man. That's, like I said, it's a great throwback to the original in part 4 with the scene to get the coat, the overalls, and the mask. But that teeth scene, man, that just really stands out. I can't get it out of my head. It's kind of wood material. It was, oof.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and go to Molly first, and then I'll add my 2 cents in. I think you guys know what I'm going to say. But Molly, go ahead and talk to me about this area.
All right, so this area looks like he comes upon the gas station. So we all know this would be after he broke out of the bus, and he's on the loose now. I don't know if he drove there or what, but you see the gas station guy on the ground. Now this is where one of the new 4 images comes into play, because we see this bald-headed mechanic, his teeth ripped out, like he got his head bashed into the table because he's sitting at the table, kind of like he got curb stomped almost.
Yeah.
So I imagine Myers just bashed his face into the table a bunch of times and like, ooh, teeth, and take that. So I don't think he ripped them out with his hands, but I think he just bashed them into where they all fell out. Now, I don't know if that's the same mechanic as the one you see laid out, but it is pretty evident that Wanker, as you like to refer to him, is the one getting his head bashed into the bathroom stall. And yes, they got a nod to 4 with the gas station. They got a nod to H2O with the bathroom stall situation. Also, that's kind of a zombie thing. Since that girl in H2O didn't get murdered. But and then the throwback, kind of the violence to zombies, Myers. And then the scene, he knows where the mask is. He knows it's in that car. So he goes, grabs it from the truck, puts it on, iconic.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about all there was in that scene. So
we hadn't quite gotten to the mask part yet, but that's at the very tail end of that. We'll get everyone else's thoughts on that here in a second, but when it came to the gas station scene, at least in the trailer, I know I've mentioned it to you guys before, and I've said this about a couple of things earlier on in our discussion about the trailer. It, again, just seemed like lazy screenwriting to me. I don't necessarily see, yes, it could be an ode to part 4 and the gas station, or even an ode to part H2O with the bathroom stall, but it just seems like lazy screenwriting to me to use the same, he's got to get coveralls from a gas station attendant, and that's where he goes. But at least they upped it a little bit to where, obviously the killing is probably a little more gruesome and violent than 4 or any of the other sequels, or especially even the original, really. At least they've got that to help with it, but other than that, it just seemed like lazy writing to me. But that's just me.
All we really have, though, the trailer gave us A to B to C. We don't really have the man or I get what you're saying, and you did kind of touch it there at the end, and corroborated my thoughts, but we don't really know how. I mean, maybe we'll see him actually, take these guys out. Phelps' garage guy didn't. We never saw him. He's just laying in the field. That's it, naked. So I think they'll give us the things that we're missing to not make it quite so bland and obviously the same damn style and path. So I hear you, but I don't know. I really don't think they'll be that fucking lazy. I mean, that would really be a cop. I'll be disappointed if they do.
Well, I mean, the reason the laziness thing is really bothering me is before we saw any of this, before we even had a poster, Jamie Lee Curtis and somebody else was on the record saying, man, this is the most original Halloween script we've ever seen. Everything is so fresh and new. It's a great way to tell this story for a new generation 40 years later. I'm like, okay. And then I see all these same scenes that are kind of borrowed from previous entries that they're ignoring.
But they did say early on they were going to have nods to every one of the sequels.
Yeah, but nods are one thing. A nod is the three.
I know, but
walking down the street. But if you take almost the exact same scene of, oh well, he's got to go to a gas station and get coveralls, that just seems lazy to me. But that again, that's just me. So.
Well, I guess he could have went Terminator style and went and beat some dude up at the bar, or he could have broke into a clothing store. Like you said, your uncle or somebody wore coverall so many years. Your dad? Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but around here I don't see even mechanics wear coveralls. So to find somebody wearing coveralls, he's probably like, bam, I'm getting that guy.
Sure.
And
I get it. Yeah, I get it. That happens to be that kind of.
Yeah, nobody's gonna be walking around in coveralls on broad daylight in the middle of town. I mean, very unlikely. I don't know where you're talking about,
and he's not going to be in town yet because it looks like the bus crash is out, outside.
It looks like there's like some sort of restaurant attached to it, like a truck diner or something. Mm-hmm. And it looked like there's some people over there and a lot of cars. So
it did remind me of zombies a lot.
Yeah, and the violence of it reminded me of Zombie a lot as well.
I think that's kind of what that's got to be what they're going for if they're going to mention or even give him a little shine. That's got to be what it is because he just wasn't like that in the other ones,
Maybe so. And then, like Molly already mentioned, we see Michael don the mask. What were your first initial thoughts when you first saw that, Colonel?
Ooh, man, what other thought could I have other than, oh, you know what I mean? Like, that's literally the only thought I could have when I seen that. This is magic, man. Magic. That's what you want to see.
Yeah. Zag?
Yeah, well, hey, let's be honest here, man. They've completely fucked up some of these masks along the way in some of these movies. And this one here, so I was with bated breath watching this, and I was chilled and froze. I couldn't move. But I find the mask is kind of right there between 1 and 2. You know what I mean? That's what it looks like to me. The design, it's old, but it kind of has that crushed lip like it did in part 2. So I'm down, man. 2 thumbs for the mask. The mask is nailed. Way cool.
Yeah, the mask looks really good. It looks weathered. It looks aged. It looks like it's probably been shoved in a clear evidence bag and stuffed in a drawer somewhere and, needs a little bit of filling out to when he puts it on. It just, everything pops into place and works. Yeah. Get your shit on. Molly, do you have anything else to say about the mask?
I'm just glad that since they aged it, it didn't come out looking like the aged mask in the first Rob Zombie's Halloween. It's all cracked up and it just. And then the second one, don't even get me started. That was just falling apart, looking like shit. But this really looks like the original mask, just aged. You should know that the mask in the second movie was the same mask in the first movie. It just looks a lot different. A lot of people can't believe it's the same mask, but it is. Deborah Hill had it under her bed, and she smoked a lot. That's what gave it the yellow discoloration. That's why the lip was kind of messed up. It got mistreated, mishandled pretty bad for a few years. But it's the same exact mask, and when you watch it, you'll see scenes in part 2 where it's like, yeah, okay, that's the same mask.
That and they lit that movie quite a bit differently.
Yeah, it was lit quite a bit differently.
So,
but one of them, the scene there at the end where he's like chasing her in the parking lot right by the light. I mean, that's that's the original mask.
That's it. You can tell.
Yeah, it's just a certain lighting, like walking down the stairs in that movie. It's just like, what? That don't look right.
Yeah,
but anyway.
There was a lot more direct light in 2 than there was in 1.
I thought it was just me.
This mask definitely looks like it was aged. The William Shatner mask was aged, and a knockout job on it, the special effects and the makeup team.
Oh, hell yeah.
Glorious.
All right, so after that, then we see Michael in Haddonfield. It's Halloween night. The kids are out. The candy's thrown around town. And here comes Michael bumping into kids, stirring up all kinds of shit. Great scene. Great scene right there at the very beginning of this segment where he bumps into the kids and, kind of a throwback to part 1. And then he has that turn looking at the house. So good. Molly, let's talk about this little area right there for a minute.
Oh, man. When he walks out of whatever he's walking out of, looks like some sort of like hallway or something in between some houses or something. But he bumps right into them kids. It's just that music. Oh, man. He turns, and he's got that perfect turn. Oh, son of a bitch. That shot right there was one of the first shots in the trailer. I was like, oh, yeah, this is like the original. None of the other sequels had anything like that. That was glorious. And the fact that they had the nod right there to the little kid in the cowboy outfit with the boombox from part 2.
Yep. Yeah.
Glorious. That scene is beautiful.
I would say those 2 little shots right there are probably my favorite little chunk of the trailer, personally. Because that's a nod. That's okay.
Yeah.
To something like that as a nod to a previous installment.
Right, because if you don't look, you'll get a miss at that, about that kid or, something like that. Be like, just barely see it. It happens so quick.
Right.
Very subtle.
Yes. Zag, what do you got?
Yeah, man, I'm with you guys. Obviously I got many chills watching this thing, but that absolutely, he bumped into that kid, but then notices that house and the fucking muscle memory kicked in and he's there. He's like, yes, this is it. That's it. That's it. And now his mission begins, and he's found, man, I just can't wait to get there. Yeah, the boombox that caught it all, even the kids are all like, whoa, who the fuck is this weirdo? You know what I mean? Stop, but not even interested in none of these people.
No.
So,
it's almost like he bumped into the kids this time instead of the kid running into him. It's almost like, get the hell out of my way. I got places to go.
Yes.
I don't have time this time. I'm not fucking around tonight. Last time I got fucking.
I got shot 6 times. I ain't got time for your shit.
No, I'd be here 40 more years. I can't fuck around tonight. I only got one night to get this done.
Exactly. He's getting too old for that shit, man. He's got to get the fucking sizzler for the early bird special. Fuck this. Come on.
We haven't even really addressed that. This man is in his 60s now, too, or even
61.
60s.
Yeah.
61.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
She's 58.
58?
Yes, because she was 18 in the original.
18.
Her character is 58.
See, yeah, okay, now listen. This is where that not acknowledging the sequels counts because they fucked that up in part 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
23,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They did.
Yeah.
And, okay, so we got Michael heading for the house. And then I'm just saying this it does, that's it. It captured the stalking, the original, the masterful feeling that he created, that whole tension. It's all there right at that second. So continue.
Colonel, you talk to us about this area.
It's going to be hard to follow up with these 2 gentlemen, but I'll throw it back a little bit. I was already at a half chub when Mike was putting the mask on. I was full-blown chub when you hear, like Molly said, you hear, wham, the kids jump. Oh,
music, man.
How could you not get excited about that? And like you said, the muscle memory, him just like, all right, shit's about to get serious. Let me look at this house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Tommy Doyle, that little bastard still lives there. I'm going to go take him out. You know what I mean? Like, he's got a grudge and he has to get it out of the system. I thought it was great, though. It was great.
That's a good point right there, though. I hadn't thought about this, and nothing's ever been. I haven't heard anyone mention this or allude to this.
Did it again.
Tommy or Lindsay.
Is Tommy Doyle going to be in this movie?
And Lindsay.
Or Lindsay.
Holy shit. Oh.
Maybe they're married. Maybe they're married, and it's their kids that the granddaughter's watching. Who knows?
Colonel is a genius, folks. If nothing else, watch the DCS for the Colonel. This fucking guy.
He be pointing out shit when he not even trying to. He just talking about Tommy. Like, oh yeah, wait. We were talking about them two not being in the show.
He blasted my. It's gone.
Hey, don't give him too many ideas. He might do a spinoff of just his own shit.
That's right. Yeah, right.
Beautiful.
We'd be like the Roseanne being kicked off ABC, and he's the Connors doing his own thing.
Yeah.
And all that show is going to be is the Connors going around to the neighborhood apologizing for Roseanne for the last 50 years.
Sorry.
Right after that, Laurie has a line where she says, "Michael has waited for me, and I've waited for him." Something along those lines, pretty close. And that just kind of cements this whole feeling that Laurie's not the nutbag, ladies and gentlemen of Haddonfield. This is about to go down, and that's probably kicking into, I would say, the third act of the movie. Right there, probably around 60, 65 minutes into the movie is about where that line's going to be, and then it's going to be roller coaster action for the rest of the 25, 30 minutes. Let's start with Colonel on this, since according to Zag, he had that genius moment. Let's see if he can bleed through a little bit more.
Well, I'm only good for one genius moment every fucking quarter, man. So don't. It doesn't happen that often. But yeah, exactly. I mean, you summed it up perfectly. That she was proven right. She is no longer the crazy cat lady of the neighborhood. Even the sheriff was like, "Well, why would you wish that?" Oh, I think I might be jumping too far ahead, so let me back up.
No, we've already talked about that, but that's all right.
Yeah, we're past.
You can reference that.
All right. Well, like I said, even in that scene, he's still looking at her like she's the crazy cat lady when she's clearly, like I said, the new Loomis role. Get your shit together. This is happening. It was just a great line.
Yeah,
that's all I got.
All right. Yeah. I mean, she may not be full blown Loomis, but I think that's the main part of what she's going to be taking, or projecting in her character now as Loomis a little bit.
She's a Loomis-like character. She's not a Loomis character, but she is like.
Right. Molly, talk to us about that line.
Oh, that line. I waited for him. He's waited for me. Oh. I mean, it just shows that bond there. He's a force of nature. He's just coming through town and wiping shit out. That's what he does. I mean, that was Carpenter's original idea for Myers. He's doesn't have a motive. He's just a force of nature. And a force of nature is like a tornado or a hurricane. It got no rhyme or reason. It just does it. So don't look for a reason of why he's doing what he's doing, because there's not going to be one. He's just going to do it. You get in his way and you're going to get run over. But Laurie, she identifies this now, and she's had 40 years, so she's like, well, he's been waiting. Well, I've been waiting too. So like, I'm not going to be the victim this time. I'm not going to be chased all over fucking town and not do nothing. I'm ready. So I mean, it's just one of them deep moments there in the trailer.
Yeah, very much. Zach, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, you guys got it, man. This is a moment where the scars become testament and proof and reality, and now she assumes role as protector, and you're right. The fight will begin here. Now I don't know at what point. I feel like she's going to run it first. I do feel like it's going to be overwhelming. I feel like she's going to have to get her bearings before they really, we see them clashing. So, man, I just can't see her. 40 years still, to me, is not enough to get ready for that. So, I mean, that's why that moment is huge for me.
We know that, but she might not feel that way necessarily. I think that's the point where she's like, hey, I'm going looking for him. If you guys want to get the hell out of town, go. But if some of you want to help, stick around, grab a few of those guns. There's some pork and beans on the shelf, too, if you need any. And then
water there for you.
Let's go Mike hunting, you know? Because you even have that scene a little bit later on where she's got the gun and she's in some big house and she's like, Michael, you know, and she's looking for him.
Yeah.
You got to keep in mind, though, too, in the later scenes, I mean, you see some stuff that, you know, we're going to get into that with the, you know, kind of the fight scenes. You know, you definitely see some still photos where she's got some fear going on when he's trying to break through a window or a door or a front door. But she don't have that gun. She's running for her life.
I think she gets
to get into a knife fight with Michael Myers.
She's going to get to her shack, her little catch of weapons or whatever. And again, I hate to, you know, compare it to another franchise, but totally reminded me of Nancy in Nightmare on Elm Street taking on Freddy when she rose up and was ready for that fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Started getting all the booby traps and whatnot.
Yeah.
Girl power, man. I'm down. I like it.
Well, and I think this one we're going to see that evolution a lot more. I mean, especially since we know the character from the original, we're going to see even in this movie Laurie evolve from, you know, hey, I've been the crazy nut lady that's been telling you and warning you that this is going on to, oh shit, he's out. All right, I'm ready to, you know, now let's go hunting him. You know, I think we're going to actually see that growth in the character. Unlike in H2O, where it was literally like she had a glass of wine, she got stooped by that one teacher that worked with her, and then it was like, oh yeah, I'm angry. Michael's here. Let's kill him. You know, like boom, boom, and that killed that movie for me, really.
Yeah, it did.
And another great ode that appears in this little segment of scenes is the person draped with a sheet sitting in a chair in what I think is the kids' room that girl later on is babysitting in. We'll get to that. But ghost sitting in the sheet, obviously a nod to the original and Bob and his ghost sheet wearing hats. Let's see, Colonel, you want to go with this one?
Yeah, I'll give you some little thoughts on it. In all seriousness, I thought it was a great nod to the first film. I mean, that's one of the more iconic scenes of the film. I loved it, and especially the jack-o'-lantern in the fish tank. I thought that was a nice touch. Make it a little bit more eerie than, you know, just some guy sitting there in the sheet. But well, less serious. Wouldn't you guys shit if Ben Tramer had a taste for the brown meat? And that was his kid, and that's Ben Tramer sitting there in the thing. So to think about, but we all know.
There you go. now you're reaching. Now you're reaching.
Oh.
And that's why he's the average guy, kind of levels out by the end there. You know what I'm saying?
He comes in with a big bomb, and then he kind of tampers off the firecrackers.
I wasn't serious.
I watch the average, man.
All right, Molly, talk to us about the ghost guy.
All right, a ghost. No, it ain't no ghost guy. It's a ghost girl. We pretty much got this kind of figured out here. This whole scene is going to have to do with the ending scene of the trailer, which we will get to. But everybody knows what happens at the end of the trailer with the closet. But, so you have the blonde friend of Laurie's granddaughter babysitting this little black boy. The pit, you know, that kind of shows like a jack-o'-lantern or pumpkin in the fish tank. That's glorious. I love that. I like the lighting in there. But that's in the same room. That's the boys' room. Now, I got a feeling once he comes out of the closet, he's going to murder her. I've seen some other scenes where she's kind of trying to get away and she's just bleeding. But I believe he puts her back in the chair there and puts a sheet over her. I believe that's the blonde babysitter. And then I believe that's kind of what kicks off people knowing that Myers is there, because the boy's going to run away and get away and probably go tell somebody. And that's what's probably, he could go outside and Laurie's like rolling up, you know, and be like, oh. And that's why you'll see another scene where she looks up at the window of that house. Because I think the boy's going to run out right there and they're going to run into Laurie. So, yeah, I think it's the babysitter, the blonde one.
Yeah, I think you're pretty spot on there. Because we see later, just a couple scenes later, we see the cop in that room
Yes, the cop is in that room looking. Yeah.
And if you see the shot of Michael looking out the window right before
he's in the right room across. Yeah.
And the cop is in. I think the cop is in the other room at the.
It's definitely a victim. I'm just assuming the blonde because she's in that room.
I think you're spot on. I think you are dead on. Zag, what do you got?
I disagree, boys. I think that's a red herring thrown out there just to get you guys thinking that. I think that's definitely Mike under there because that cop does come into that room, you know. We don't know when it is. That could be an hour before Lori goes back over to that side, you know what I mean? So we don't really know. But I'm going to go ahead and say that's Mr. Michael under there waiting. And this cop, he don't know any fucking better. He's going to go up there. He's going to go whistling around. And the victim thing's good. I mean, but I'm going to stick to it. I think it's a red herring.
Let's put a wager on it. 1-5.
We'll see. We'll see. That kicks off what looks like a good series of events. Lori versus Michael. The rematch. The one we've all been waiting for. The Rumble in the Jungle 2. Or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Molly.
The battlefield in Haddonfield.
There you go. Go ahead, Molly. Start us off here.
All right. Well, I'm not sure what scenes you see exactly first here, but you see a lot of action where he's chasing people and he's chasing her and he's doing a knife twirl. That's sweet. That's kind of a kickback to H2O in the beginning, but that's his weapon. He's got to have a little maneuver with. All right, I'm going from slashing to ready to stab now. But there's an important scene there where she is getting out of her car. And as she does, you'll see 3 children run by, all wearing, well, 2 of them are wearing the silver shamrock from Halloween 3. I think you see the witch and the pumpkin. I don't know about
the song in my head.
But she gets out and she looks up at the house that the babysitter and that little boy were in, where I was just talking about how I think that's him under the sheet. And then she sees him up in a right window, and she shoots up there. She shoots, but she shoots into a mirror because he's standing off to the side facing the mirror that the mirror is reflecting outside. That's what's going on. And that, my friends, is a scene where Nick Castle.
You think that's Nick?
Does. No, I know it is because in February he took a selfie shot of him on set, and it was a selfie of the mirror, him standing in front of it, where it was angled where you could see outside into the street. And it was the same mirror because it turned and it had the same handle on the left side.
Nice.
That's his scene. He's just standing there kind of looking, but she don't even shoot him, she shoots the mirror, the reflection. I think that's fucking fabulous. It's like, oh yeah, you thought, huh, bitch? Nah, I'm not going to stand there like you shoot me. This ain't happening this time. I know you got guns. And then the rest of it, I mean, you only see bits and pieces, fragments of what's going on. You see like a hand come through a front door. Looks like he's right on her ass. She's pretty freaked out. Like I was saying, what's she going to do when the guns run out and the bullets are gone? You better hope you don't run out. Because you're not going to beat him hand to hand. You better shoot him.
Well, it looks like there's at least one scene, though, that they show in the trailer that they are going hand to hand, and she may even have his knife. I couldn't tell if he had one as well, but she has a knife. So
I'm just saying, from the damage you took in one, I don't think a couple stabs, even if she got that lucky, is going to take him out. So yeah, I'm sure they have a little scuffle with some knives, but long run, if you're going to take him out, it's going to come down to guns. But
we'll see.
I guess we got to see. They may both go down. We don't know. I hope they do. Honestly, I hope they both just kill each other. That's the way they end it.
Yeah, that's something. That's something to think about.
But yeah, it's a nice intense collage of scenes. It's hard to sit there and nitpick each little one. You see so much going on so quickly. But
Sure.
Yeah, I definitely like the window scene the best out of all that action.
All right, Colonel, jump in on this.
I'm going to piggyback off of Molly here a little bit. Like I said, the knife twirl, fantastic. Because like I said, it's his signature weapon. He should have some moves with it. The window scene, I know, is a great play with the mirror and the reflection.
Mm-hmm.
But also, that was one hell of a shot with a handgun. Like, if he was there, holy shit, she had him. I was pretty impressed. I know they showed her in the shooting range, but holy shit. Like, she's fucking Deadeye, man. But yeah, there's so much action. Her and Michael going hand to hand. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I think it's just going to be a great final chase scene. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. I agree. How about you, Zag?
Yeah, this battle. She's clearly ready. I mean, she's got her skills and her aiming's on. I got that. And, Colonel's right. If that's not a reflection there at that, he's a dead man right there. That's taking everything out. Probably taking his fucking head off, really.
Yeah, that was like a magnum.
Whew. And
like JFK.
But then, but I'm going back to what I said before. I think it's going to be overwhelming when the stalk is right in her face at first, and then it'll take a few to kick in while she's running to get her bearings. Then it gets on, and maybe she does run out of bullets or gets his knife or whatever, but it stops just short. It does look like he's getting a huge block and stopping it from hitting him. So I don't know, man. I think maybe that's why people were pissed off with the ending, because maybe they do both die in that, that time, and they had to tweak it a bit, or maybe he wins. You got to do this right, man, if you want to make us purists happy. So, but the battle looks like it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be settled. We're going to have a clear winner at the end of this thing, or a draw, I guess, if you want to look at it that way.
Right. Now we'll talk about our predictions for the end here shortly, but well, that leads us to the very final scene, conglomeration of scenes at the very end of the trailer, which is basically, can you close the closet door? Which, I mean, it almost looks like it's an entire piece of a longer scene. I assume the babysitter's been reading to the kid, maybe. All right, time to go to bed. Tuck in. Can you close the closet door? Sure. And it's probably, I know I said I liked a couple of little shots earlier, just personally because of the Halloween fan that I am, but as just a filmmaker in general, that is a perfect damn scene. It's just a perfectly done scene. There's not much you could do to that to make it any better. That's just me. Let's go with Colonel on this one to start with.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you completely, Crank. It was a great scene. A little bit of my horror nerddom kicked in. Sorry, mumble mouth tonight. When the third time she tried to close it and opened up, and you saw Michael there, for whatever reason, I reverted back to being a little kid and seeing Monster Squad. And I got to throw my little Monster Squad shout out in there. Where, there's a mummy in my closet, and you see the mummy standing in there. But, there's a great scene. It's going to play. I can't wait to see it play out on the big screen. It's going to be fantastic. Because, like you said, he's sitting there, oh, I'm scared. Oh, there's nothing to be scared about. It's okay. It's going to be perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah, and we only see what happens when she finally opens the door to see what's blocking it, and Michael's, of course, standing there and lifts the knife, and then it cuts to black. But, yeah, I'm interested to see the rest of that scene play out. And I know she tries to put up a fight, but we all know she doesn't make it. So, see you, bitch. Molly.
Yeah, all right. Well, there's also some quick cut scenes a lot of people can miss right a little bit before that, where you see
what her sleeve or something.
Her, like a bloody arm coming, like trying to get down some stairs, and that would be her. So you would assume that as soon as she sees him, he's lifting a knife and it's on. She ain't getting away. She's getting messed up. But I think what makes that scene so powerful, I'm glad they kept a light on in the closet too. Mm-hmm. But, go over there. Can you shut my door? Great scene, but what made it fucking phenomenal was the fact that, all right, I'll try to close it. Try to close it again. What the hell? Try to close it again. What the hell? Oh, shit. 3 times you try to close it. Not just once or twice. 3.
Yeah.
That, it just gave us because we all saw still photos prior to that, the trailer of him being in a closet. We knew what was in there.
Right.
And when you watch it repeatedly, you see part of his shoulder in there, and it's just like, oh man, you don't even know it, bitch. You keep hitting my foot, bitch. You keep hitting my foot. I'm gonna stab your ass. And then he just boom right there. That's it. It's over. That's a wrap. That boy better just leave. Glorious.
Now you want to close doors on someone's pinky toe. Is that what you want to do?
Stub my toe, bitch. You think you're getting away with that?
Now I got to cut you.
Cut you nice.
There's a little Harlem Nights reference for you guys if you don't get it.
Oh, I got
it.
Zag, go ahead with us on this last sequence.
Yeah, man. This is textbook. This is classic with a twist, you know. You know what's there, but execution, when done just artistically and perfect like that, this is what I hope there are many moments like this in this movie, and it will very much model the first one.
Exactly.
Suddenly appearing and everything. So, I mean, I loved it. I do like the fact that they went 3 because that did kind of give it that extra wrinkle where it's like, oh, well, they're just going to do it's a stuffed animal falling or something. And oh no, boy's in there. He's ready. And then he just does the quick, like locks right on her eyes and swinging the knife already, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's on. The chase is on. And I'm sure we're going to go and see those cut scenes where she's trying to get away, but come on, man. Come on now.
And keep in mind, the power of 3 is a very well known and very normally, if it's done correctly, it's very well used writing technique. There's a whole thing about it. You can look online and probably read a million articles about it, or probably 1,000,003. Let's see. Well, that's it for the scene by scene breakdown for right now. We got to take another quick commercial break, and we'll be back right after this with more Death Curse Society. Hold on tight.
Never, ever, ever, under any circumstances say, I'll be right back. Because you won't be back. I'm getting another beer. You want one? Yeah, sure. I'll be right back.
All right, welcome back to Death Curse Society and our special event episode where we talk about the Halloween trailer and dissect the shit out of it. We're almost done, I promise. I'm still Red Crank. I still got Moley with me. I still got the Colonel, and I got Zigzag. We got a few more things. We got like 3 major questions left to ask. Remember, the power of 3. 3 major questions. I'm going to start with Zag on this one. Number 1. Who survives, Laurie or Michael or neither or both?
Wow. Now, let's just look at it from economical first. I'm going to try to roll through it real quick because I have a jumble of thoughts on this. If this thing makes any money, which we all know it will, this is going to be a killer come October. In that realm, I say Michael lives. Jamie Lee Curtis has pretty much in reality said this is it, her last visit to the character. So it's not saying she gets killed, but I'm saying it. Laurie's going down. So I'll stick with that. Michael lives and rides again. Laurie, valiant fight, valiant effort. Rest in peace, baby.
Do you think they're going to leave it where they kind of assume Michael's dead, or do you think it's going to be like a clear cut that he's alive?
This is where I think it can only go two ways. You're going to see something you already saw before in a previous sequel, or we're going to have shots of scenes that we saw in the movie and the heavy breathing come back again, just how it should be. That's it.
No, that would be nice. That would be nice. Colonel, what do you think? Laurie, Michael, both, or neither? Who survives?
My heart tells me I want both to die, to be honest with you. I think it'd be a good closure for the Laurie Strode, Michael Myers story. I mean, that's great, the best closure we can get. But I'm also in agreement with Zag. This thing's going to make a ton of money. Of course they're going to leave it open for a sequel. They would be dumb not to. So I think they're both going to die, but they're going to have that little question. Is he really dead? Who knows? It makes, $100 million in the box office. Yeah, I think he's going to get up and come back.
What did you remember from that movie, the first original one, though, as you were walking out of that fucking theater, man? You were waiting for one more stinger when that breathing started, didn't you? I was just...
Well, I was when I was watching it on VHS because I wasn't old enough to see it in the theater. I wasn't born.
Dirt. I'm sorry.
Yeah, calm down, old man. Calm down. No, when I first saw it, I remember kind of thinking there might be something coming, but I also remember thinking to myself, and I was a weird kid when I, growing up, go figure. But I thought about the way films were even made back then. I mean, I think that's why I was allowed to watch these kind of horror movies at 5, 6, and 7 years old, because I looked at movies differently than a lot of kids my age. I looked at them and was like, so how'd they do that? And then I'd have to figure it out. So I do remember thinking, this could be a little jump scare coming soon, but I was also like, that's a great way to end it right there, just with the breathing and then it goes to black, and I'm like, yep, all right, perfect. I remember distinctly the first time I saw it. So
unforgettable and haunting.
Yep.
Yes. One of the best things in horror. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. One of the best scenes. Molly, what do you got on who survives or who dies?
Well, having them both die would be one route. I don't think that's the route they're going to go. How I'm seeing it is they get in a bad fight. Laurie eventually ends up dying. Something happens with Myers to where it looks like he got killed or he got put down or something, kind of like the first one where he got finished and he should be dead. But as you guys all were talking about there, the end of the original, that's what made the ending so beautiful, is that he just was gone. You'll see all these locations where he was, and all you hear is the breathing in the mask. It's like, where the fuck is he? The evil is gone from here, but where did he go?
All right.
I don't know if they're going to do this, but this is how I want it to go. I want it to end almost the same way, where he just disappears. He gets the job done, and he's gone. That way, they could end it there if they wanted to and just say he was done. He's done. He moved on. Or he went off to die, or who knows what the hell he did. And maybe it was the Force, and he blew through town. Now he's gone. He got his job done. He's done. Or if they make a lot of money, as you said, they could easily have him come back to finish off the other kids, the granddaughter and the whatever. But, that's not really his main focus. It's worrying about them. He wants Laurie.
Uh-oh.
As long as he gets her, I think he could just, I don't see them, for one thing, I don't see them ending him in a way he can't come back. That's not happening. They're not chopping off no heads. They're not blowing him up. They're probably not even going to put a bullet in his head. Because I believe that brings up the big speculation of mortal. I mean, he's mortal if you're going off the first movie. He survived a lot of shit to still be mortal, but he's mortal. You know,
Zach. I think Zach's got something to throw in here on this.
I just to add on, there's only one way they could really fuck this up for me is if that grandkid, if the daughter of the daughter shows up in a clown costume and a fucking mask on, like part 4, kind of like that way, I'm gonna be pissed. and if that's what they did and that's what they rewrote, I can't wait to hear what they changed, because this is the only thing that would piss me off up to this point.
I couldn't see that. I couldn't see that. There's no ties to Myers. He's not related to them. There's no blood tie there. You know,
Hollywood's stupid, Molly.
Plus, I think you're dipping in the curse, thing, because that's when they really started in 5. Then they started talking about the curse, and no, it's not a curse. He's a force of nature. He's a one person doing it. When he's gone, Michael Myers is gone. There's nobody else continuing his legacy.
That I love.
Yeah,
you need to just end it with him. But it's all going to be about the money, of course. They make a shitload of money. They could probably do another one, and that's the way it is.
We'll be there.
I would probably see it again.
Personally, I think this movie is going to hit at least 150 million. And not first weekend, but I think it'll
in the long run. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll hit 150 million before it gets out of the season.
It's great that again coming out in mid-October too. Right before Halloween. It's
perfect.
Perfect timing.
Ice this bitch so nice.
It's gonna bust 70 that first weekend, man. That first couple of days, I think.
Yeah.
I'll probably see it a couple times the first couple of days. I'll probably see it Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Personally, when it comes to who's surviving, I think Michael will be injured in a way that he could still escape and leave and survive, I should say. I also think Laurie's going to be kind of that same way too. Like, you're going to think she's gone, but she might pop up at the very end, like after the aftermath is really done. They might, see her on a stretcher or something, being wheeled into an ambulance and go, "Oh my God, Grandma, you're okay." Yeah, you just got me right here. I'm good. It might be one of those just to have a little happy moment. Here's some glitter for you. But that's kind of the way I see it. But if I wouldn't mind. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if Laurie dies, because they could carry it. If they do make enough money and they do decide to do a sequel, they could carry it on with the daughter or probably the granddaughter, because the granddaughter's going to have a better youthful kind of draw audience-wise anyway. I mean, I'd love to see what their contract, like the daughter and the granddaughter's contracts look like. Like if there's how many clauses are in there about future movies and how long they're tied to any kind of potential sequels or something like that. I'd love to see that. Of course, I don't have access to that, but
this is the first Blumhouse attempt at a major property too. So I mean, it seems like they know what the fuck they're doing. They're kind of, they're the forefront of horror right now. They got some clunkers out there, but they got some good original shit too. So I mean, I'm with it, man. I'm letting them run with the ball. I'm okay with it.
And I get that they're trying to make, they got Carpenter, Laurie, or Jamie Lee Curtis back, Nick Castle, everybody, and they're trying to do a definitive sequel to the original, cancel all the sequels and say, this is it. Boom. There you go. Okay. You got your sequel that you always wanted. But that what's going to weigh, keeping it real like that, or how much money we make, we got to do another one.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, then you kind of pissed on what you just said, saying that this was it. And now you're like, oh, well, but now we got to do another.
Well, that's happened in the past before, though. I mean, with all the other big
that's the thing with horror. You can never say one of these killers is dead, because you can always come up with a way. I mean, H2O, you thought he was smoked.
Yeah.
And that was kind of an interesting ending. I was kind of like, what? You just cut his head off.
Excellent.
Fuck you. I was pissed. I didn't like
really?
It. No, getting him trapped like that and cutting his head. Fuck that shit.
It was so impactful, though. I mean,
I thought it was a pretty powerful moment.
It was powerful.
It was a powerful moment at the time, but I'm so glad that ended up getting changed.
Yeah, but that's what soiled it for me, because what they changed it to, I was like,
oh yeah, and then you got Laurie supposedly prepping when she's in the mental place, and then she's dead in like 5 minutes.
Jump the shark.
Yeah.
Kiss him a little bit, and she falls. Moving on. Like, take her out right away. You know,
That's
he waited
probably
20 years to get her. She survives, then he kills her in 5 minutes.
That's the sole reason they had to cancel all the sequels, just because of that fucking movie.
Possibly. And I know we've said that we've already kind of discussed the sequel thing a little bit. Now, when this movie was first announced, it was said, I believe by John Carpenter himself, if I remember correctly, that this was it. Now, this may be it involved, in my opinion, this might be it involved with him, that he's involved with. I think this is almost like a, you know, here's the torch. You know, I've done the 2 movies that I want the Halloween legacy to be, speaking as John Carpenter. And, you know, Blumhouse, you know, if you guys want to run with it anymore, if it, you know, does $1 billion in the box office, here you go. Take it home. Just don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
And
go work on something else. You know,
I'll give you the first rule of how not to fuck up a Halloween sequel, by the way. Do not hire Busta Rhymes for anything.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Where would the sequel go if we were going to have a sequel? Molly. Or do you think there will be a sequel?
I don't think that's the intent. I don't think this movie is intended to have a sequel. Like I think we've all just mentioned, it's going to deal with box office and how much money it makes. Because any production company is going to be like, hey, this made a lot of money, we got to do more. That's just how it works in the business. You know, it's a money-making business. You're not making movies for nothing. No. You're not making movies just to please the fans. You're making movies to make money. So, of course. So, if it makes a lot and they decide to go with a sequel, then I'd imagine that the granddaughter and the daughter are still alive, and, you know, maybe a couple Halloweens or the next Halloween, who knows? He rolls back into town and tries to finish it up. I couldn't really see him going after any other people. I don't know. Maybe he just wants to go home. He has no motive. You know, you can't. It's hard to speculate on what a sequel could be with Michael Myers because he doesn't have a motive. You don't know what he's thinking. Why is he doing this? Why at 6 years old did he decide to do this? Was he a normal kid up till then? And then he just went like catatonic? He didn't speak anymore? Was he a normal kid up till then? I mean, nobody knows. There's no backstory to him like that. So all it is speculation. So as for a sequel, you could say anything. He could go to Texas and hang out with Leatherface. With Crystal Lake, hang out with Jay. I mean, he could do anything. Maybe he's tired of Haddonfield. He's tired of being locked up most of his fucking life. 55 years now. He's only spent 6 years out.
Let's hope that's not the case.
Yeah, he could go to fucking Hawaii, you know, take a break, you know. Who the fuck knows? I don't want to speculate on a sequel because I hope there isn't one, even though I want more Myers, but just end it in a good way and leave it alone.
Wait a minute. This is Halloween, not a very Brady Christmas, all right? So let's not send him to Hawaii, all right?
Right.
Please.
Well, I mean, regardless of what you do with it, it wouldn't be a good one. I mean, then you'd start going down the same road that they did with the other movie, coming out with more storyline to fulfill another movie, and it's just like you've already ended it in this sequel here. Why do another one? They could have ended the Halloween 2 3 years after the original should have been the end. You know, he burned. That was it. He was toast. Don't come up with fucking how many years down the road that he was still alive and burnt to shit, and then in 5 his face is normal. I mean, come on. No. You're going to just keep making sequels, and then that one will do and then 10 years on the road, let's do another Halloween. No, fuck off. Leave this song, just end it with this movie. That's all I got to say. I don't want a sequel, so I don't want to speculate on what it would be. It would be shit.
That's all you got to say?
It sucks. Sucks. The whole idea of another sequel to this sequel. God. Fuck sequels.
Makes no
sense.
sense.
We'll make a new movie.
And everybody is now dumber for having heard it. No, I hear you, brother. I mean, I love your passion. You know I love the movie just like you do. And What I think the question is, what if they do have a sequel? Will they have a sequel, and where will it go? That's what you said, Crank.
Pretty much, yeah.
It was like 15 minutes ago, so
I know. I dozed off a little myself.
I told you we needed a full show for this topic. I could do 5 shows talking Halloween, man.
Will they have a sequel? Yes. But it will have nothing to do with these characters or this movie. Nothing. It'll go along as a new start, just like they did. It'll start it all again, the whole cycle of new Halloween movies. That's where we're going, 100%. 100%.
Kind of thinking that like a Season of the Witch anthology kind of deal?
Well, I mean, you skip that part. Just more Michael Myers, you know what I mean? Just killing a new group of
They
kids.
would have to have Myers. If they tried that Season of the Witch shit again, that would people off. They saw how bad that worked.
Okay. So you just think he would just be killing whoever he came across?
Whatever the scenario, it doesn't matter. A new group of kids, and here he is for whatever reason. Someone went and found. I don't even know. I mean, it'll be terrible. Whatever it is.
It'll probably be sort of like a resurrection, where he finished Laurie, and it's kind of like, what does he do now? Well, I'm going to go back home. Oh, there's people here. I'm fucking them up. He's moving on with his life. It's like, oh, was he living in the sewers of that house now? What the fuck is it? Like I said, regardless, I think we all know it would suck. It wouldn't.
Yes.
It wouldn't be good.
Colonel, what do you think?
I really hate to speculate on a sequel without seeing the film first. But
that's what we're here for. We're here to fuck shit up.
We have to. Who else if not us?
I mean, if they were to do a sequel, which I think they will if it makes enough money, and the way Hollywood likes to go, I see them just rebooting the series over again, starting fresh after this one, if they decide to do it. I mean, they've already done that with Spider-Man, as much as I hate to say it, Ghostbusters. Ugh.
Yeah.
That's what Hollywood does. Okay, well, we made a ton of money. Let's reboot this, start it over, and see where it goes. Because you reboot the story, you still got Michael Myers. I mean, what's it going to hurt? I'll show up and see it. You guys will show up and see it, right?
Yeah, of course.
I see Zach like, oh, but
I think we're
you'd be there opening night. It's a new Halloween movie.
As long as Busta Rhymes not in it, yeah, I'll be there.
Well, Busta Rhymes isn't relevant anymore. They'll have some guy with pink and green hair or something. I don't know. Never really kept up with what's hot in the rap industry today. But if there is a sequel, I think they'll go that route. I think it'll be a total reboot.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's the thing. You could say it to a sequel. Maybe it wouldn't be a sequel directly to this movie. This movie will be the original and this. If they do another Halloween down the road, it could be a sequel to Resurrection because they ended that where he was still alive.
Nah.
You got to keep in mind how many timelines are going on right now.
Yeah, but they're not going to go back to a really terrible edition of the movie and continue on from there. I just don't see that happening. If there is a sequel, which I assume, I'm about 96% sure there will be, just based on the rampant anticipation for the movie, what I assume the box office is going to be like, and as well as I think this movie is going to be actually put together. Like I said, I know there are a few things that I don't necessarily like about what I've seen yet, but I have hope for it, and I think it's going to be a well-done film. So I think there will be a sequel, and I think it will involve, if anyone, the granddaughter and Michael. Maybe kind of a similar situation to this one. The granddaughter is still living. I know, but the granddaughter is still living in Haddonfield. Everyone else in her family is gone or dead, and Michael escapes again somehow. So I hope they kind of don't do that, but they're definitely going to make a sequel. That's all I got to say. All right, one last thing to talk about. Our final thoughts about the Halloween trailer. Let's start with Zag on this one. Zag, give it to us.
Man, I love the trailer. As we've been saying all along, gave it an 8 out of it. All the little throwbacks and the little tributes and everything. One we didn't really even talk about real quick was when she's singing the song that she sang in the first one as she's walking down the sidewalk, but this time toting the shotgun.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That was very good.
That was a different trailer, but it was released around the same time. So
yep, just like a 10-second one or something like that.
Yeah.
But very powerful nonetheless.
Very.
But yeah, the trailer gets me totally hyped up. I bought into what they're selling me with the scratching all the other sequels. Laurie coming back. The mask looks great. Michael's stalking. The whole story. I'm in. They've got me. So well done on the trailer, and just can't wait for October 19th.
Yep. Colonel, final thoughts.
Overall, I thought the trailer was very well done. Like my score earlier was a 9 out of 10 for my anticipation, and I know I was probably the more skeptical of the four of us when they first announced this film coming out. And getting like all the nods to the past films. They did a great job hyping it up, explaining the new storyline with as little effort as possible, which is perfect in my opinion. And like I said, the mask and just everything we talked about, the teeth. It was a fantastic trailer. I'd still give it a 9 out of 10. It's probably the best trailer I've seen in quite some time. This is coming from a Star Wars nerd that gets all hyper over the Star Wars trailers. By far, this is the best one I've seen in years.
Nice. All right, Molly, final thoughts.
Yep, 8 out of 10. I'm not sure if this is going to be the only trailer. They may do one more as it gets closer to release. I definitely believe they'll do some TV spots, short little clips, and we're definitely going to get some more pictures or video. We're going to get some more, and we'll definitely speculate on all that and talk about it. But I'm loving it. I think it's going to be the best sequel so far. Well, since number 2, it's going to be fucking roller coaster ride. You know, it's going to be great. I can't wait for October 19th when we all go to the theater and we do our pre-podcast and our post-podcast and the expressions on people's faces like, what the fuck was that? Or, holy shit. They'd be like, oh, you motherfucker, what just happened in there? Son of a bitch, I was yelling at the screen. You know, shit like that. You know, I can't wait for it. I kind of like you're talking about with the nod there with her singing. I kind of hope they throw in the Sandman song sometime in there, or even possibly Don't Fear the Reaper. Just to a nod to the first one. You know, things like that. But Sandman was, a pretty, people know that from the second movie. So, I mean, it's the opening and the ending song. But I just can't wait. Can't wait.
Yep. We're all excited. I'm excited too. I can't wait for the movie. Even though I've been a little critical about the trailer, I'm still going to be one of the first in line to see the damn movie. You know this. It's just who I am. I'm still in I started giving it like about an 8.5. Now I'm around 7 on my ranking for the trailer. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to see the movie. I'm still going to see the movie. So get ready for that. That's going to wrap it up for Death Curse Society this week. Thanks for tuning into our special, probably extended episode, just talking about the trailer. We had a good time talking about it. We're going to do more of things like this, but we gotta close it down for the night. Colonel, get us going.
I just want to send a special shout out to Phil Mora, and also join us nightly on YouTube channel Molly Michael. Watch us kill some people. Watch us run from some killers.
Yeah.
Watch us talk about party streamers.
Hey, I got 2. I got to use them.
all the time with the damn party streamers. Molly, what do you got to say on the way out?
All right. Yeah, you can follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Get social with us. Let us know. Send us some messages. Send us some pictures. You got horror pictures? Send that shit. We want to see it. Bring that. Anything horror related. Books, movies, decorations, action figures. You give it to us.
Hell yeah. We'll talk about it all. Zag, send us off.
Hey, man, are you DCS? Now you can prove it, baby. We got the proof right here. Look at the boys, how beautiful they look. Now you can do it too, man. Just hit us up at the space. We'll get you set up real easy. $20 to up to extra large, and then $5 for the fat people. Fat people tax. It's not my problem. It's your problem. But we got you covered anyway, baby. Look at these beautiful things. Get one now. Are you DCS?
That was almost a good sales pitch. All right.
These sell themselves, man. What the fuck?
Oh, Lord. For the larger people, how about that? It's an extra $5. Sorry.
But as a larger guy that honestly probably needs a 4X in that shirt instead of 3X.
we are DCS, not PCS. We are definitely not PC. So, and always go to our website, deathcursesociety.com. Next week, we're going to have one of our regular episodes where we take on all the current news that's going on out there. I think we got a couple of new trailers to check out. We're going to talk about those, and we're going to be back. So tune in with us next time. We'll see you then. DCS out.
DCS curse, baby!
The fucking fat people tax?
The fat people tax! The fat people tax! Like Fitzy Big Boy! Huh? Huh? Huh?
Oh, well, he got taxed like triple just to get that shit shipped to Canada.
Yeah,
Canadian.
Trump put a tariff on that shit on him.
Fat guys know they're fat. What the fuck?
I know I got a belly, but shit.
Good Lord.
At least I ain't Canadian. Huh?
See,
at least I ain't a bloody wanker.
Oh.
Speaking of bloody, I got streamers to go spend with face and boobs.
Are they out there? What time? Oh, it's 4:48.
They've been waiting. I mean, we got room for one more in there if you want some points. Easy points.
No, I'll pass.